What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Griever back here, bringing you guys the latest behind-the-bar reviews for One Piece. One Piece chapter 976. There's a moment in this chapter. We all know it. As a community, we have come together and cheered for this moment, for this day. This moment is incredible. And I think I speak for everyone when I say, thank you, Oda. Thank you for showcasing that Kanjiro can actually paint something and it's not affected by the water. I mean, that's something. Let's just step back here. After watching Tekka 101's video about that a couple weeks back, or whenever it was, you know, it was always stated that the thing, because it's a drawing, it can't survive from water and stuff. We just kind of accepted that and rolled with it. It's devil fruits, it's wacky, it's One Piece, right? But the damn thing, apparently it can survive in the rain and the wet and everything. As long as he draws it correctly, he can draw it very well. Or does he claim that and then he just sort of disables the drawings? You know, is that part of his devil fruit? Can he control them like in that way? I don't know. Either way, yeah, big info in this chapter. That was the key moment in this chapter that I think we all appreciated, that Oda finally confirmed for us, is that if it's well drawn, the water doesn't seem to affect it. Okay, so let's go on to the actual chapter. Let's go on. And that is actually explained in this chapter, but we all know that I'm just being a bitchy little troll with that. Let's talk about this chapter, because in all honesty, it's a they fight sort of chapter. It's a bit of a cluster of just everyone speaking about what's going down, what's going on, Momonosuke, Kanjiro, all that stuff. They've sunk the ships, or so they think, and the other pirates, the beast pirates, are fleeing back to Onigashima, and everything's all well. Everyone's just trying to wrap their heads around what's going on. The very beginning of the chapter, and I have to state, at the end of the last chapter, review, I did not notice the blush on Kinemon's cheeks, even though he was in my thumbnail. I did not notice the blush on his cheeks, and therefore I believe that he was standing there firm, and this was Kinemon's plan the entire time. I was adamant. I wasn't joking at the end of the last chapter review, because I also thought that the text, because we saw Kanjiro speak, I thought Kanjiro was still speaking, and we just saw a shot of Kinemon. I didn't take that as his thoughts in that panel. So, but it has been confirmed, for lack of a better word. Everyone else picked up on this. I completely lost it. Had I noticed the blush on Kinemon's face, I probably would have picked up on it as well. But unfortunately, I missed that one key thing, and I took it literally. I took it very seriously. Now, at the beginning of this chapter, we see that the Red Scabbards do not believe it. They're just kind of like, hey, you, tell us the truth. We won't be mad. Tell us the truth. And he's just kind of like, no, he's not going to say anything. But it's like, all right, we got to go forward now. We got to use up all our luck and all that such. And it's time to raise. And Denjiro says, raise your katana, Keen. We're on our way to Onigashima. And everyone's like, yeah. And we have Inarashi and Shutamaru. And I think, or Shutamaru, no, Shutamaru? Ashura Doji. Shutamaru. What's Shutamaru from? Yeah, Shutamaru, but it is Ashura Doji. Anyways, they all talking about Odin and basically saying we might have all been born separately, but we all came together under Lord Odin, and it is time for us to fight once again for our great Lord Odin. And, you know, if we live or we die, it'll be, this is the way, right? This is the way. So they're all like pumped up and ready to go. Law is pissed because they're all on his ship, and he's like, what are you doing, you freeloaders? This is not the Samurai Convention Center. Get off. And they're like, oh, we thank you, Law Dono. It's like, no, you don't get it. Get the hell off my ship. Meanwhile, Kawamatsu, right off the, like, Kawamatsu, is he the only man of action? I understand there's a lot of hecticness going on around here, but out of the Scabbards that know, they all know they should be yelling to Luffy, Luffy, Law, use your room. Chambers, use shambles. And Luffy, use your stretchy powers and get over to Kanjiro because he's the spy. they're not yelling that stuff. Kawamatsu dives under the water, goes forth, and then attacks Kanjiro. But Kanjiro is more skilled than I gave him credit for. He manages to block Kawamatsu and manages to take off with Momonosuke on that bird that he draws very, very well, that is not affected by the rain. Sanji goes after him after everyone kind of figures out what's going on. Sanji goes after him. Usopp claims he's going to shoot him down. I'm curious as to why Usopp still didn't get a clear shot. He had opportunity, and Usopp, I might give Usopp flack. He's not one of my favorite characters in One Piece, but he has really come into his own after 20 years of this manga, and I firmly believe that Usopp would need no time to go bang and just fire. Like, no time at all. 3 seconds, there's something in the air, right? I'm firmly under that impression that he is a sharpshooter at this point with considerable skill. I don't know why he didn't fire. I mean, you could... I guess the ink clouds were kind of in the way, that Kanjiro had already been forming them as he was escaping before Usopp, sort of during when Usopp said that and he was getting ready to attack. Sanji jumps up. Kinemon says, no, like, come back because I have no idea. Be careful. I have no idea what he's conjuring there. Kanjiro is conjuring, and he makes these ink clouds that with ink arrows that fire down, and they apparently pierce. You know, it's a pretty deadly technique. Like, Kanjiro apparently ain't no joke anymore now that we see that he can fully utilize the Devil Fruit, and we've known that for a very long time. Throughout this story, Oda has constantly shown us that when you have people with Devil Fruits, it depends on how they utilize them. There are very few, you could argue a couple, but very few Devil Fruits are useless. Most Devil Fruits can be, you just need to get creative with them to a point that it can make them quite OP, and some that you don't even consider, you wouldn't consider on a standard, okay, I'm going to make a power system. Well, got to do my elemental stuff. Let's do some physical attributes. Let's do some teleportation, some invisibility. Let's go down the basics, right? Oda makes up these wacky powers, but sometimes it can come out of nowhere. It depends on how you utilize it. Look at Luffy. Luffy's Devil Fruit. Ace even tells him back, is like, what can you do being rubber? Being rubber, sure, you know, you can take some blows, but it's kind of useless overall. He continues to train with that thing to make Gear 2nd, Gear 3rd, Gear 4th. I mean, he's got Jet Gatling, he's got Red Hawk, he's got all these abilities combined with his, of course, his hockey and such. But Luffy utilizes his Devil Fruit in all aspects. He pushes it to its limit. So here we're seeing the same thing. Kanjiro, you know, being able to draw things out of thin air and make them come to life and utilize them and be able to harm people like that, that's pretty deadly. That's a rather powerful technique. Now, after this, they basically failed to get Momonosuke. I don't know if they could have, if Momonosuke had kept pleading or something, like, because Momonosuke here becomes a man once again, someone that Luffy can respect what he's doing, because we've seen that instance a couple of times in the manga, and I believe it was on Zou, where Luffy simply said, or Kinemon recognized that everyone thought Luffy was being cruel and mean to just such a little kid, but Kinemon recognized that Luffy might be the one who respects Momonosuke the most, but he has to act like it. You know, you want my respect, you've got to stand tall and act like it. Don't be all talk. Show me what you want. You need to be able to ask for things. You need to be able to do this, that. Luffy understands Momonosuke better than most characters in the series, most people. So, we're seeing that here again. These great moments between them. And it's simply that Momonosuke kneels down and says, don't worry about me. I'll find a way out on my own. Head forth to Onigashima and take down Kaido, and take down Orochi, and restore Wano, open Wano's borders, do what my father, you know, I know among better than anyone that I am not my father. I am not Kazuki Oden, but this is what I can do. Within my power, I can tell them to not come rescue me right now. Go and do the job. Don't let this deter us. This is our opportunity. This is our chance. And Luffy, of course, respects all this. The people are, oh, what a poor, brave boy. Thank you, Lord Momonosuke. And he's like, you might be a crybaby who's all talk with a top knot and thinks you're a samurai. And the samurai want to. They're ready to draw their katanas. They're ready to slice him down. They're like, slice him in two, the heathen. You know, disrespecting Lord Momonosuke. But he says, but don't worry. We'll go kick his ass. We'll come rescue you. You know why? Because we're friends. We're pals. And Momonosuke just weeping and crying. He might be a big crybaby, as Luffy points out, but he did the manly thing in Luffy's eyes, and he knows it, so he just keeps nodding as Kanjiro flies away with him. Now, after this point, we see that one lone ship, they thought they had sunk all the ships, is like, which ship? I sunk that one. Oh, that one retreated, you know, yada, yada, yada. It apparently was backing up because it has this Wano technology, the long-range cannon. So here's where the weapon factories came into the mix. They have long-range cannons, and they're taking down ships quite fast, quite easily. There's more than just one long-range cannon. They have an arsenal of them, and they got the distance, and they're firing, and everyone's kind of like, full speed ahead. Like, Law's like, ah, damn, I knew they were doing something. Luffy's like, full speed ahead, let's go catch them. Kid just, okay. I don't care if you drown 1,000 samurai. It does not bother me. I'm going to Onigashima. So we see the different personalities of the three main captains in this group, and simply put, this right here has got to be one of the best moments in Wano. From the great waves of the ocean, pirate captains numbering 3 shall stand there in awe as arises Jinbe, Knight of the Sea, first son of the sea, is here. He, boom, pierce, what a fishman karate, boom, sea prison. I don't even know what the attack is called. I don't care. He pierces that thing, destroys the ship. It sinks to the bottom through the waves, and here he is, just in silhouette, stating, I beg your pardon, for I am one who accepted a ritual cup. I am from just a humble servant of the Fishman King of the Ryuga Kingdom, beneath in Fishman Island, from the Fishman District. And I took upon myself a ritual cup, and though greedy I was, I have finally been here to accept that and return as helmsman, as person, to join the Straw Hat crew. And we see Law and Kid are just, they're baffled. Law's like, you have got to be kidding me. And Kid's just like, furious. He's like, that guy's gonna join the Straw Hats? It's like, come on guys, you're forgetting who's the main character. You're forgetting who, not only trained by Silver Israeli, not only basically given the chance to be the one by Shanks, the one brother of Ace, grandson of Garp. Oh, this dude, everyone is just like, you gotta be kidding me. And I'm like, no man, no. Former Shishibukai, former Warlord of the Sea, and not these new petty ones, not the new ones. No. 438 million berry bounty. Jinbe, first son of the sea, is back. He is here. Step aside, Sanji. Step aside, because the true monster trio is officially all together. We got Luffy, we got Zoro, and we got Jinbe. We got Jinbe, who's actually, he's in the second spot right now. He's got the second highest bounty on the crew by a landslide, by 100 million berries. This dude is standing toe-to-toe next to Luffy. You know, I'm sorry, Sanji. You can't have a monster trio and then you have a powerhouse. They'd be like, oh, yeah, we got this trio of dudes. Let's be like, yeah, but we have the former Yonko on our crew. But yeah, we're still the monster trio. It's like, no. You gotta advocate. I'm sorry, Sanji. You've been too much of a simp for too long. You make it badass. I agree. You make it your character. You own that simpness. But You had your time. Whole cake was your time. You baked a cake. You appeased Big Mom. It's time for the warriors, for the samurai, for the pirate captain and first son of the sea to take over and wreck Kaido's shit. I am so thrilled. I have finally finished my reread up to the end of Whole Cake Island of One Piece. That's as far as I was going to go. Because the Reverie was still on my mind, and of course we're into Wano, so I'm fine with that. And Jinbe, I really liked him before, but upon reread, he has got to be one of my favorite characters. Jinbe is back. And a lot of people thought, and I was of the opinion, I guess the big theory is that he was going to be missing a leg, or he was going to be missing an arm. One of those things. I always took it, and I think it was both Rogers Base and Tekken 101 both thought that he would be the eye patch pirate. Like, we have Zoro with the scar and stuff, but there's no eye patch. You know, the hook was crocodile, that's a big thing. Oda likes to save, like, the very stereotypical pirate stuff for very important characters. And we don't really have the eye patch character, the important eye patch character yet. So, at least as far as I'm remembering back, so I really thought that Jinbe would show up with an eye patch, you know, maybe over the eye that he doesn't have the scar on or something. That's what I thought Jinbe would be, but doesn't seem to be any injury. I'm sure that some of the fishermen might have died, but remember, though Big Mom, like, we have to remember Whole Cake and what happened at the end here, because at the end of the day, sure, they were buying time, so they might have been some injuries, might have lost some lives, but at the end of the day, they can swim away. They can go vroom in that direction. No one on Big Mom's crew could have chased them after that. As once the Thousand Sunny got away, they were down into the deep and gone. You know, like, and Big Mom couldn't have chased them. Oven can't chase them. Katakuri, though beaten, couldn't have chased. Like, nobody on the crew, Sparrow, nobody there, Daifuku, none of them could actually go underneath the water to chase them. So once they were done, once they did all they could to hold them off, I'm sure there were some injuries and such, but I never thought that Jinbe would come back losing an arm. You know, that seems a little extreme. Though he might have some crazy scar like Luffy does, or something on his back, or something that might be like something up here, because I mean he's fully clothed right now, but I see 2 fisherman legs, 2 fisherman arms, and I see a very happy Jinbe saying, just like I promised, Luffy, I'm sorry it took so long, but just as I promised you, Captain, I came back alive. And everyone, the Straw Hat crew is thrilled. They're throwing their arms in the air, and Luffy's got the stars in his eyes. Jinbe! And I'm like, I'm with Luffy on that. Jinbe! Because Jinbe's here. And he's like, so, you guys are in the middle of battle. I'm glad I didn't miss it. And he's here. He's ready to go. Jinbe, Knight of the Sea, first son of the goddamn sea. Oh, man. This was exciting. It was very difficult, honestly, to... when chapters like this drop, I make sure to avoid... I avoid Twitter and Discord on the best of times when a One Piece chapter drops, because I know the spoilers are out. And I try to bare minimum myself, right? Going on the platform. Thankfully, I knew this chapter had something hype about it, but thankfully I was not spoiled. I didn't see a silhouette panel. Nobody mentioned Jinbe. Nobody mentioned even the Straw Hats. It was just, this chapter is hype. Like, the most spoiler I got is that this chapter was amazing. And in all honesty, the chapter was meh. Okay, we're progressing. We're going to get Tony Gashima. Kanjiro flies off. Whatever. It's the moment. It's the moment Jinbe shows up that makes the entire chapter. The chapter's kind of like, okay, what, give or take. But the moment when Jinbe shows up, those last like 3 pages, that is what to be excited about. Jinbe. Jinbe's back. The true member of Straw Hat Crew. I know a lot of people love Carrot. I understand. But Jinbe is officially part of the crew. And he did not die. He is not dead. He has been officially, unofficially, it's hard to say. I would say he officially became a member of the crew when he gave the ritual cup back to Big Mom. That's when he officially became part of the crew. He unofficially became part of the crew in Fishman at the end of Fishman Island. Then he officially became part of the crew, and now he's joined up with them. Like, I guess officially. Some people were still saying, nah, it doesn't count because he's not with them. And I'm like, by that logic, Zoro, Robin, Frankie, and Usopp weren't part of the Straw Hat crew during Whole Cake because they were separated. That's not how it works. Jinbe has been part of this crew unofficially since the beginning of the time skip, or just past the time skip. And now he's here. He's part. The entirety of the Straw Hat crew is officially together for the first time. Yeah, for the first time since Fishman Island, because Jinbe left. So since the end of Fishman Island, the crew has technically been incomplete as far as I'm concerned. So many people were hyped that the crew was coming back together in Wano, but the crew wasn't back together until this man showed up. This fishman of greatness showed up. It's so dope. I'm thrilled that Jinbe's back officially as the helmsman. I believe his bounty actually went up by a few million. So I thought he was only at 400 and change before, but now he's 438 million. So yeah, step aside, Sanji. We got the True Blue, and remember, Zoro has Enma, but he hasn't had his fight. He hasn't had his power upgrade yet necessarily. We know it's coming, but we haven't seen it on screen yet. You know, Sanji's got his rage suit and stuff, but he's only 10 billion. I'm telling you right now, Zoro is going to go above Sanji at the end of this arc. That's how it's going to go down. So let me know what you guys thought. I could sit here and rant about Jinbe all day. I am just so pumped that Jinbe is here, because Jinbe is just amazing. He's got to be one of my favorite characters, and he's got to be one of my favorite Straw Hats. It's hard to pick Straw Hats, but you know, I got Zoro and Jinbe and Brook kind of up here along with Luffy. You know, so I mean, that's half the crew, but is what it is. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you thought down in the comment section down below. Like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Griever with your Behind the Bar reviews for One Piece, Chapter 976 review. Drink responsibly as always, ladies and gentlemen. See you back here next time.